But yeah. Anyway, the last big one though was the Mavericks, man. Kristaps, 3-6 Latvia has been traded away from the Mavs. They sent Kristaps a second-round pick to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans.
I like Bertans because he's a 7-footer with a jumper.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if this was the right move because isn't Spencer hurt?
No, he's back.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just his ego was hurt.
That's pretty much it.
You know, Bradley Beal didn't like playing with him.
Yeah, because
they didn't work out.
Dinwiddie was trying to go up in the locker room the first couple weeks, and he was like, "Look, this is what we got to do." And everyone in the locker room was like, "Who the fuck is Spencer? Nigga, you don't sit down." And then it was just like, "No, really though." And everyone was just like, "Yo, stop trying to be a leader." And he was like, "Okay, I thought we should try to have roles on this team." So now they just kind of out there hooping now. The first 3 weeks, I was like, "Man, the Wizards look so good. They look so organized finally."
Man, come on, man.
Fell off, man. Fell
Drink
off.
that
Like,
juice.
Well, yeah, a lot of people were saying that, Q, and people were like, "Oh man, look at this team without Westbrook."
Yeah.
You know, and we see how that works. So that narrative didn't work out at all over time.
Cool still hooping though.
How many more years does Mr. Latvia have?
I don't know, but it's I think there were reports out that Luka and him didn't really get along.
No, they did it.
Yeah,
They did it. You saw it on the court.
Yeah.
You know, from a skill set perspective, you would figure, but Kristaps just has not been the same since the ACL. And in all honesty, he's not going to stay with Washington.
Nah, he's not.
Yeah, I see in the offseason they'll probably move him.
But what does this do for Luka? Because now, like, I mean, he can still do what he does, but Spencer Dinwiddie,
man, Luka gone.
That don't seem to match for me.
Yeah, and Brunson's playing well with him right now. I mean, Brunson playing good ball.
And Brunson gone.
That's what I saw somebody else say that's going to be insurance in case Brunson leaves. But I just hate that fact that you got to go there because Brunson should be one of the people they trying to retain because he's playing some good basketball.
Mm-hmm. Mark Cuban, keep this up, man. Mark Cuban gonna keep this up. He trying to drive all these white dudes, making it comfortable like he's still in Europe and shit. That's not gonna work, man. I'm trying to tell you, like Luka gonna take his ass to Minnesota or something. He like
they're gonna wear him out, bro.
Yeah. So what's happening in Dallas is what's going to happen in Dallas is what's happening currently in Portland. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have a guy. You're gonna sign him at least one extension. Right? Isn't he up for an extension now, or did he already resign?
I think he's up for one.
Okay,
but the difference is Luka ain't gonna hang around like Dame did.
No, but I think Luka will play at least 3/4 of his re-up, and then he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna be loyal like Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think he's gonna make a stink to get out. But look at the turnover of this roster since they drafted Luka. And Luka was Rookie of the Year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over my guy Trey. You know, that's another thing. They are going to lose Luka, and they're going to have to trade him because they have yet to secure a secondary star on that roster. And here's the thing.
This would have been perfect, too, if it had worked out.
It would have, because, again, skill sets make sense, but it just, sometimes it don't work. But when you look at, and this is sometimes what happens when you have such a good player, is that you get stuck in purgatory. Luka is a superstar because by himself will get you to the playoffs. No matter East, West, it don't matter. Luka's that damn good. But are you going to win a championship? No.
Right.
So that means that you're out of the lottery now, right? And because you have such a good player, you're going to keep swinging. You're going to keep swinging for guys. You're going to keep swinging. And more than likely, you're not going to really hit to the point where you don't have assets. Your star player is disgruntled. You have zero cap space because of all of the moves that you kept swinging for don't fucking land. What happens? Then you have to move your biggest, most valuable asset because you're not going to be able to win with it. What we're seeing in Portland, mark my words, 3 to 4 years from now is what's going to happen in Dallas.
The one trade that didn't happen was Westbrook. He didn't get moved. I didn't think they were going to move him, but There's a report that says they had a deal on the table with the Rockets in exchange for John Wall. They also had a deal to trade THT, I think, with another team, but the Lakers didn't want to give up any picks. So both of those deals fell through. I think now that that's settled, I think they'll probably kind of lock in and move forward and make a run for it.
It'll be the buyout market most likely. You got guys like Goran Dragic. You got guys like I think Thaddeus Young or whoever else is out there. And I think that you'll see little moves that they tweak around. They might release a guy here and there, but Lakers, it's really playing right now. It's looking like playing for me. I don't really see any real pathway with the roster that they have because like we said when I was down there with y'all, their issues are not just Westbrook and it's not just Vogel. Like their issue is roster construction. They gave away every single piece that defends on the perimeter. KCP, yeah, made dumb plays, yeah, made a dumb pass here and there. Still defended when you needed him to. All right, Kuzma. All right, yeah, didn't have all his IQ together. Was confused about his role. Didn't know how to hit shots when he didn't have the ball a lot. Didn't get the ball in his rhythm because he needs to pound the ball a little bit. When he needed to defend on the perimeter, he could do a little bit of that. Caruso, showing you what he offers in Chicago as being one of the better perimeter defenders in the NBA. No matter what, made the great extra pass, could nice outlet passes. You exchange all those perimeter pieces. Exchange everything. Even let go of Drummond, who did great this year for us in Philadelphia, and will probably do great in Brooklyn, right? Compounding all those issues, compounding those trades, compounding Westbrook's deficiencies, compounding with Frank Vogel's lack of offensive identity and actual skill with coaching. It's all just one big mess. Now adding Trevor Ariza, the corpse of Trevor Ariza. Now adding, Carmelo, adding the ghost of Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean? Adding, these old, washed up or close to washed up players. And now you're asking LeBron James to be a bigger defender than he's been the last 3 seasons. And you're asking Anthony Davis to anchor a team when he was brought here to really just fit in. And although we think he was there to be, the number one guy, he's not trying to be the anchor like he was on defense in New Orleans. That's why he got out of there. He tired of getting hurt. And now he's hurt again still all the time. And it's just so many different issues, man. Like from Jeannie Buss to Pelinka to the coach to the roster to LeBron's age to AD's fragility to Russ's deficiencies. It's all just this mishmash of BS. And I can't lay this just at the feet of Russ. It's the entire situation. It's really bad.
You know what else we don't take into consideration? The Lakers get every team's best shot.
Oh, 100.
So
no. Wait, hold on. LeBron gets every team's best shot.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? And then saying that it compounds to the problem because you're going to get teams ready. That game is circled on everybody's calendar. So you're not getting the chance of, catching somebody off guard quite as easy. Teams ain't sleeping on you. They want to beat you in the ground.
Yep, 100%.
And that adds to the problems.
Q, something that you said that I agree but disagree with at the same time, right? Like, you know how it does. It's not Westbrook's fault, but it is Westbrook's fault, but it's not because of Westbrook.
Yeah.
And I'll explain. Westbrook doesn't fit. He just doesn't fit.
Never did.
I know I was a proponent of saying, hey, I don't necessarily mind it. I think when LeBron's off the court, Westbrook could come in and do what he does. I wasn't anticipating a basketball change, and that definitely impacted a lot of shooters because Westbrook has had bad misses in the past, but it's very rare where you saw he just hit all backboard. He's doing that a lot this year, even on layups. So it is what it is. But the reason why I'm saying it's not Westbrook's fault because the Lakers should have made the Buddy Hield move instead of the Westbrook move. So obviously Westbrook doesn't have control over that, right? But if they were to, and I agree with you, Q, Caruso, out of all of the guys that turned over, that's the one guy you keep for a couple of reasons. Size, perimeter defense, and the biggest thing, who does he play best with? LeBron. That was like a big deli for him. Remember Della Vadova in the finals? Like, who the fuck was Deli? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Caruso was to LeBron. You don't let that go, right? And to me, I would have re-signed Caruso. I would have made the trade for Buddy Hield. Obviously, vision, hindsight being 2020. You know what I'm saying? But those pieces fit better. They went for the name. They went for the glitz and the glamour that is LA. And now we're seeing that the chemistry and the fit isn't there. And they did lose a lot of perimeter defensive and offensive firepower. And you're asking a 38 or a 37, gonna turn 38 in 2022 version of LeBron James to not only do what you've been doing for your entire career, like we need you to do it like when you was 25.
Mm-hmm.
At what point? At what point? Come on,
It's funny, man, because in past shows, at times we and other media pundits will look at KCP and Kuzma and Harold and all these other guys and be like, man, he can't win because of those guys. Now those guys are gone, and we saying he can't win because of those guys are gone. It's like pick one. Which one is it? And I agree, the fit would have been better with Buddy Hield, and maybe the roster would have been constructed differently. I don't know, but I still think we probably have a similar situation going on.
I don't think similar in the sense that they're not going to be a top 3 seed, but dissimilar where we're not talking about them falling off a cliff. We would be talking about them in a similar fashion now that they're going to lock in, they're going to make their playoff run. They would just be in a better overall situation.
Yeah, but let's assume that the injuries still happen too. The only thing we're talking about the roster. AD goes out, then LeBron goes out. What the fuck's Buddy Hield going to do? You see what I'm saying? So
Same
it's still
shit, if not more than what Westbrook is doing.
Right. So I still think the situation would have been differently. I think it would have been the media talking points would have been different. Because you're not going to talk shit about fucking Buddy Hield. But it's easy to talk shit about how it's all Russ' fault.
It is.
It is, Ken, for a couple of reasons. Russell Westbrook, triple doubles how many years in a row? Russell Westbrook, the MVP. Russell Westbrook, the hothead, right? Like,
I know, I understand all that, but this is not all Russ's fault. And I think that has got to change.
No, it has got to change, Ken, but Russ isn't helping himself. And that's the problem. The problem is it's not even Russ's numbers. When you look at his numbers, right? Like I saw a comparison with Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? His first year as a Laker. This is the same thing. Shooting percentage is everything. The problem is that when it's bad, there's not a player worse. That's the problem. Ken, look, for a guy as athletic and play hard as Russell Westbrook is, there's no reason why you're airballing layups. There's no reason why you're all backboarding layups. There's no reason why on your patented shot, your hezzy pull up off the glass, you're hitting nothing but glass. Ken, when it's bad, it's the worst in the NBA. And that's the problem. Like there's not just an off game. There's a 1 for 10.
Yeah, but I think it's more. I mean, I know you're not saying this, but I just think that is more than that. I think people need to talk about more than that instead of laying it all at the feet of Russell Westbrook. It's just it's like enough is enough. He's a scapegoat.
100%. But and that's why we have is why we've created what we've created, right? And he's not the scapegoat. A lot of it, to me, is Rob Pelinka and the way that they constructed the roster, whether, you want to
look at the fucking Trevor Ariza. And I know y'all talk about Austin Reeves' IQ, but you might as well have kept fucking damn Caruso. He makes more plays.
Exactly.
Fucking Avery Radley, you brought that quitter back.
Ken.
And these are the guys that Vogel's trying to put on the court. Fucking damn, who's the center? DeAndre Jordan. Fucking Kent Bazemore. Where are those guys? Where are the other Stanley Johnsons? Because he's like, if he ain't running around on the court trying to get in somebody's face, he ain't doing much of shit. But at least it's that high energy.
You know what I think? I think the move that they should have made, and a lot of teams honestly should have made, because y'all were talking about San Antonio earlier. He was depressed in that environment. Was DeRozan? That was the move they should have made. But Buddy Hield's great. He's a great player, high volume 3-point shooter. But DeRozan, with the season he's having, if there's no Joel Embiid and no Jokic, he might be right there with John Morant for MVP right now.
That would have been a great move.
So that was the move. You know, a guy who's a 3-level scorer, not obviously a great 3-point shooter, but a much improved 3-point shooter, good enough. And then an elite mid-range guy. That's what they need right now, is somebody so that LeBron can give the ball to in the paint, which is AD, and then a guy that LeBron can get the ball to, who can do the herky jerk, let me get to my shot, pull up in the corner, blah, blah, blah. That's what he needs. Buddy Hield would have been more LeBron-centric of, I'm gonna, follow you. I'm gonna rail shoot. I'm gonna, follow you. Yeah, he basically Black Kyle Korver, Black J.R. Smith to a better degree. Mm-hmm. DeRozan could have been like damn near like a diet Kyrie for this team, and they just blew it, man. They just said, "Give me Westbrook."
Yeah, with that mid-range game and everything. You're right.
And you know what, Q? Look, hindsight. But if we're gonna play the if game, let's play it all the way. What's the other side of that? What if DeRozan looked as bad as Westbrook now? People be killing DeRozan, talking about why did they make the DeRozan move? They should have got Westbrook when he was out. So we could play.
We knew what DeRozan was because we saw it in Toronto, and San Antonio.
You see what I'm saying? So we let's look at it from two perspectives, right? But overall, like my basketball my analysis told me the moment he signed in Chicago, what did I say? Right? Like I was one of the first people saying Chicago is going to be legit because of DeMar DeRozan. So I knew that there was something there. And before he decided to go to Chicago, he wanted to go to LA, and he was trying to make it where they can get him and Russ. Mm-hmm. Like that was the original talks. DeMar wanted to go, and they wanted to bring Russ at the same time. You do that now, that's something completely different. But all that said to say, man, look, the Lakers are in a very messed up situation without a way out.
Yeah, it's a lot of lack. Well, and that's why maybe the trade deadline will settle some things, because a lot of those guys know they're not going. Mm-hmm. And now maybe it's really sitting down and saying, hey, just like LeBron said on national television, like look in the mirror, like who wants to play and who wants to win, because that's what we're here for. And if you don't want to do that, then you don't get on the court. Mm-hmm. And it's just that simple. So, but when you look at Vogel benching Westbrook, how are those experiments working? It worked like once or twice, but when they were playing against such and such, they still lost. Yeah. And he sat on the fourth quarter sat on the bench for the whole fourth quarter against fucking Portland or the Kings. Portland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they lost that game
against a bunch of backup guys.
Kings too, yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, if Russ is the problem and you bench him for the fourth quarter and y'all motherfuckers still lose, something else going on, bro. Yeah. So fix these rotations.
I don't give a damn. You had a magic wand. There's not a real way to fix these rotations with the players that they have. The Lakers, their only saving grace is gonna be the buyout market. But even in the buyout market, I don't think the answer is gonna be there. Now you bring in a Goran Dragic, I like that. Why? Mm-hmm. A capable point guard that can take the pressure off of Russ making decisions and setting up Russ to get easier buckets, relieving LeBron to play a little bit more off ball or to go to the bench, right? Because you could play Goran and Russ and AD and just bring LeBron in with the others. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different things that they can do. I'm going to reserve what I feel about the Lakers and moving forward for their playoff push after the buyout market.
Russ he didn't play against Portland, and they still lost. So that even further compounds my argument. Mm-hmm. If he wasn't even on the goddamn court, and they still lost. Like, come on, y'all.
They're a bad team. Where are they now? Like seeding?
Yeah, seeding playing game 9th, 10th. Yeah, they're in a bad spot.
Playing game.
So yeah, but we'll see. I think the last thing I'll say on this, we can wrap up the super chats and get out of here, is that LeBron, AD, and Russ need to sit down, and they need to revisit that conversation and talk about what they need to do. You talk about accountability. LeBron, you need to take accountability. AD, you need to take accountability, because y'all went to Pelinka and said, let's bring Russ here. We want to play with him. And whatever y'all worked out and said and figured out how they were going to play together, y'all need to have that conversation, because he's here now. Mm-hmm. So now you got to figure out how you're going to make it work.
Correct. So did you see when Russ went over to him and was telling him he's sorry he couldn't help him when they didn't let him on the court?
Yeah.
Did you see their faces? How they
Bro, they're looking at him like, All right, dude. All right, bro.
Yeah, but it's just like I think he
man.
was just like, I mean, shit. Y'all sat me down and y'all still fucking losing.
That's what he was saying.
So
He was like, hey, man. Hey, remember off season we went to Vegas? Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember? Come on, man. Hey, right?
It was all good a week ago.
AD, like, man, I should have stayed in New Orleans for this bullshit. You know what I mean?
Now AD got a chip. Now AD
He got a ring.
guaranteed his way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his bubble ring.